It's a dark video. I'm watching Interstellar right now because it's one of my favorite movies, and I just wanted to get it off my chest. Or explain, not off my chest, but just explain what kind of was going through my mind today when I was in the desert and I was looking for my drone. I had plot points, GPS coordinates of where it was last recognized, and I'm so tired. So if I close my eyes, I apologize. I'm just talking to myself, really. Anyway, it's just journal. And I had tried once before. I didn't have a whole lot of time because I had to pick my daughter at 3:30 at school, or Naya. And so I got there, I think at 12, and I was there and back in 2 hours, and all the way up to the saddle of Picacho Peak. Um, Climbed up to the saddle, looked over the saddle a little bit, but I didn't have the plot points with me at that time. I forgot that phone. I brought the wrong phone. I'm not supposed to fly in state parks, but I didn't fly from a state park, and I didn't know it actually was a state park. I thought it was just Picacho Peak. Um, so today I decided, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to be more prepared. Even though I was very prepared and nothing bad happened, I was able to get down, even go visit my friend not far from there on the way back to Phoenix. Oh, my legs. And so today, and I didn't really hydrate that well, but I had a ton of water with me. Um, I did have a monster right before I started hiking. I finished it. I probably drank that in 30. It took me about 30 minutes to drink that because I bought it in Casa Grande. I was feeling kind of tired, not feeling really up to it. I wanted to go find my drone, had the plot points. So I thought what I was doing was going to take an easier route. It was more of a, it was on the western side of Picacho Peak where the sun blares. There's no break, no break, no break. Oh my God, Jim. There's no break from the sun. And it was 100 and I think, well, when I got in the car it was 102. So, and it was just blazing sun, no fucking clouds. And so I was hitting my plot point. It was an hour and 50-minute walk. I'm like, good. I got 2.5 hours. Not a problem. Done this a million times. I can go for 10 miler. Had a lot of water. What I thought would be a lot of water. 100 ounces. Just drank a bunch. Soaked my hat in water. Had protection with me, gloves, good shoes, just to walk along the base of the mountain until you get to the peak, and then it would traverse up, and that's kind of where I wanted to go. So it was over 2 miles. I really didn't pay attention how far I was going. Um, 2 miles, not on a sidewalk. Up and down, up and down. You're on this base of a mountain, climbing up the fingers, things like that. Lost the trail once on the way there. Found the markers because it all looks the same. It's hard to stay on the trail. As soon as you lose the trail, it's so easy to lose it. But you can get your mark, bearing. It's just staying on the trail or whatever. If you were going to call him for help, I'm on the trail, you know. I'm on Sunset Trail, which is, I didn't even read the map. I should probably read the map. It's right there in front of me. Anyway, so um, I'm doing all the stuff at the base, and then there's Picacho Peak ahead of me, and I'm like, okay, because there's a saddle, and I want to go to the saddle. I almost feel like I want to throw up. And so I start going up, and my energy's okay. My energy's okay. I got lots of water. I'm drinking lots of water. I pissed a couple times clear. not yellow, not dehydrated or anything like that. So I thought everything was going good. Like I said, and I had done the other hike, couple, the week before, and it was more vertical. I had just been going kind of traversing up and, but that just takes its toll on you after miles and miles. Where the whole trail that I did the other day was 1.61 way, and this was going to be I think 2.61 way, and no shade. The other way, the whole way is shaded because you're on the east side of the mountain and you're just constantly in shade. So, like, it's doesn't even impact you. The breezes feel cool. Everything. I remember that because the ranger was like, "You don't want to go out there. You don't want to go out there," or she didn't say it like that. Sorry, that's a bad. The first time I went, and they predicted a higher temperature than it was, but she's like, you got enough water? I'm like, yeah, I got all this water. I got 100 ounces in this pack, and then I got all these bottles, and I'm hydrated, but I'm not going to take the bottles with me, but I'll have them for when I get back and to rehydrate or whatever. And I have my hat, and which is my old booty, which is pretty thick and not really a great hiking hat, and I'm never gonna fucking hike in that thing again. It's so thick and it retains the heat that I think it contributed, but I couldn't not wear it because look at my fucking skull. And so I had to wear it, and I would take it off every now and then. And the wind would kind of, if there was a breeze, I would take it off when there was a breeze. If I was going like down a finger, um, then usually there was like a draft coming up, and I would take my hat off for a little bit. My skull is scorched. It's fucking. This is like 5 hours ago, I guess. And so I'm still going up, and then I see the peak, and I start moving, and I'm like, okay. And I got like David Goggins shit in my head. Don't be a pussy. You know, don't be a bitch. Just fucking do it. Oh shit! I forgot I was recording on the other phone. Let's see if they would come over the wall. Um. Anyway, I'll make this quick because now I gotta stand up. So I'm going up, and in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do this because really, I don't want to do this. I don't want to climb a fucking mountain for my drone. I don't need to. Nobody's asking me to. But I want the footage. It's stupid. It's I want the footage. I want to see what I missed because I had a whole day of flying on there, and I want my drone, but I don't think the drone's gonna be salvageable. Ugh, God, my legs. I'm leaning up against the island right now, and I'm dying. I can barely stand up, but my phone is dying too. So we're all dying here. um, so I have this David Goggins, and I'm like, I'm gonna take souls, and all this shit is in my head. Like, don't give up. You feel fine. Listen to your body, And I'm like, I'm listening to my body, but I'm like, fuck. Every step I take is I got to take 2 steps back to get where I am. 10 steps forward. That's 20 steps. And I start thinking logically, and I start kind of letting my ego go aside. Like, this isn't about getting to the peak. No one's there. No one is anywhere. No one is at this fucking. There were 2 motorcycle. There was 2 people having a picnic, and they had a Harley. They were wearing jeans and leather jackets. They were at the base. They were and they were leaving because it's ridiculous to have fucking leather, but whatever. Leather vests, not jackets. Um, and then I saw a few people by. There's like a children's cave, and there was a family of 4 over there, and that's in the lower again on the east side of the mountain. All this shit's. So I start on the east side, but I'm starting at the south end to go to this sunset trail that just on a map looks like, okay, that's a nice, it's not through the fucking mountain and up the mountain. It just sounds like, oh, why do you go up the mountain, go around it? If you just want to take it easy, that's all I was thinking about. I don't care how far it is. I'll enjoy the hike. I'll take pictures. I'm just going to take it easy. And then for the last little bit, I'll have to go up because this will be traversing up. Well, if you're traversing up the whole fucking time, your body's working. And I could feel it working, but nothing crazy. I had no cramps, didn't roll on my ankle, didn't have any problems. But I was fucking hot as fuck, and it was getting to me. And even on the I hadn't even gotten like, and I didn't know how far I was going. I guess I just was looking at the peak, and it's misleading when you look at a mountain and you're like, oh, it's just over there. Well, that's fucking miles. So I'm like, I see this stake, and I'm like, it says 2 miles, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm 2 miles from that trailhead where I started. And I'm like, so that gets in my head. I'm like, so 4 miles total in this fucking heat with, and I'm not really worried about my water at this point. Because honestly, if I go up, I'm just going to go over the other side. I'm not fucking coming back down. I'm just going to go over, take the shade, and I'll walk over to my car on a fucking flat road. It's not going to be easy, but I was kind of like, that's where my mind was. But I was also thinking I might not make it. There's something telling me that I'm not going to make this. I've had voices like stop, stop, stop. This wasn't like a stop voice. This was like something really deep saying, no, you need to let this drone go. You might even be 300 feet away from it, because I was really getting close. But I was just like, I also get caught up in looking for it, looking around. That's more time. That's more water. Because then I'm like, well, I'm so close because I'll have it on my GPS, and I'll be like, it's got to be around here somewhere. And I'm like, but I've already walked. By that time, I would have been 2.6 miles in the fucking scorching heat, 102, and no shade, no breaks. I tried like crouching down and stuff, and there was no reprieve. And honestly, when I would crouch down, my mind would start going, yeah, this is comfortable. Go to sleep. Seriously, like, it wasn't like you're gonna die out here. This is just like, just go to sleep. It's like your body trying to avoid all of this fucking pain that's might get you nowhere. Like, you might not end up on the right side of this. And so when I sat down on this rock, and it was like a low rock, so my knees were up high, and I'm like, I don't want to get into any position that causes all of a sudden causes cramping. Like, my hand was so swollen, like I can always get my wedding ring off. And this thing was like, I look like a fucking sausage fingers. Like, I must have weighed 350 pounds, and I could barely like bend my hand. And I was like, that's gonna happen to my legs. And if I sit down and let a little rigor mortis set in, it's exactly what it'll be. It'll be rigor mortis. And I'm like, I got no cell service. Um, I have Bluetooth glasses, but they're just, they're almost done. They're just for taking pictures and video. Um, my phone has no reception, but I got about 50% battery, and it's hot as fuck now. And I was like keeping it cool with cooler water and the cool pack and stuff, and that was disintegrated. My water was getting really warm. But I was like, oh, I only have. So when I decided to turn around, I probably was at like probably, I think it said point six, but I had to go point two to the end of and then another point four. So I was 2.4 miles into this trail, and I was on the side of them, and I could see, like, I wasn't far. I wasn't far in the grand compare. I was like a tenth of what I'd already gone, but I was just like, no, I need to turn around, and it was all right. I'm just like, fuck, it's just pictures and stuff, and I'm like, I'll come back and I'll go over the front next time, and it'll be a lot quicker. Not to mention easier, and no fucking sun. So it doesn't matter what the temperature is going to be. But I started at 12:15, which was a problem. I went and did some work before that and added on an hour and a half. So on my way back, my body started shutting down, and I thought, oh well, it'll be easy on the way back. It's just mostly downgrade, subtle little up and downs here and there. But my body started shutting down. I started pissing myself. I couldn't even hold it. It would just like when piss would hit my bladder, it would just start coming out, and it was yellow. It was like super dehydrated. Well, not super dehydrated, but it was getting there. My muscles were feeling weird. My body was feeling really tight, and my mind was just kept like, if I didn't meditate or breathe, you know, and focus on the step, be mindful. My body just said, just take a rest, just take a rest, just take a rest, and I knew that would kill me because I was surprised. I had no idea this would happen, and probably had I hydrated better, I might have. But it was so fucking hot. I never, and my head was so hot. So that's a bad biking or hiking hat. Hydrate the day before, better. Um, yeah, because the distance wasn't. It was just a weird day, but it was really weird when there was like, man, I am. If you look on a map, like how close I could be, and I'm thinking I can't get a signal. Maybe I could. Then what do I tell them? Because I went off the trail. I was trying to do a straight beeline for the fucking this one finger, and then there would be another one, and then where my car was parked, I was like 2 miles away, and my body's shutting down, and I'm like, there's no fucking shade, and it's pretty hostile, and there's nobody around. There's nobody. There's just it was scary, and I had to deal with it, you know. And I kept thinking, oh, if I get over there, then I'll see the car, and that wasn't true. And then over another one, I think it was like four of them that I thought, oh, that'll. And I thought the car would give me energy to get to the car, and it didn't. It was just every fucking step was like, don't roll your ankle, make a purposeful step, don't get into running, especially downhill. Sometimes you want to get that little momentum and whatever. And I was like, no, this is how we're gonna. My shoelace came untied. I rolled over once, but nothing happened at all. So then I was like, okay, I'll tie that up because I was just too lazy to fuck. I was too tired to tie it up. It just come untied after like 3.5 miles or 3 miles. So, but it was weird. The mind just wants to give you some peace in your time of mine anyway. I mean, everyone's mind works probably different, but there was like there was parts of me that were panicking in a sense that I don't know how much more of this I have in me. I'm looking at my hands; they're swelling up, um, and it all seemed kind of sudden, like the shutting down. All of a sudden, I can't hold my pee. I drink water, and then like it wouldn't take that long, and it just felt like I was peeing out the water I just drank, which I know is not what it was, but it was really weird not being able to hold my bodily functions. And thank God I didn't have to take a shit. Um, and then when I finally made it to the car, I hadn't really paid attention because I was just focusing on every step, like don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Um, looking up to see the car and trying to enjoy the moment, trying to appreciate it, but still a little bit of in a panic. And even knowing that I get to the car, then I'm just out of the heat, but what's going on with my body? And so I think it took like when I got to the car, it took a while for the car to cool down. And I was kind of just writhing in pain and trying to get comfortable, and then finally, like I remember looking at then looking at things, and they were like pulsating with my heartbeat, and nothing was like couldn't drive. I couldn't drive anyway because I could barely I felt like I'd just done a fucking marathon, And although my muscles weren't tired, they were just gone. Like maybe that's what Lou Gehrig's is like or something. Like they just went into atrophy. And I've got good hiking legs. It's like this was a weird thing. And again, there wasn't a lot of like intense vertical, but constant just pounding, always going up, always moving up. I guess I hadn't really done that ever, and not in 100. So I'm home and I'm okay, and it's a neat experience. I'm trying to wrap my head around the mental, um, and so I took a bunch of psilocybin, and I'm gonna um, reflect on that tonight. So that's that.